Hey everyone, my name is John McCarthy. I am 19 years old and I am an openly gay student from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm vlogging today to make my contribution to the It Gets Better project by Dan Savage. I wanted to share some of my stories and life experiences about how I had to deal with gay harassment, and bullying and what have it, and to ultimately tell whoever's watching this, whoever it may be, someone who right now is dealing with bullying or harassment, but ultimately to share with you that it gets better, and it really does. But right now I wanted to share you some of my stories. I grew up in multiple places. I never really had one real neighborhood to speak of where I grew up in. I spent the majority of middle school and elementary school in a Catholic school. I was born and raised Irish Catholic, and so I had a lot of religious backgrounds, and I was raised to believe that being a homosexual was wrong, and that it was punishable by big man upstairs. And as I got older, I found out that that wasn't true, but I was picked on a lot in school, suspected of being gay. People made slanderous remarks about me. They spread rumors, and I denied those because I didn't know what I was back then. So I was afraid of what this was, and I was afraid, was it true, was it not? But ultimately I found out that I was, but that's beside it. After elementary school, middle school, I went on to high school, and I started really discovering who I was. And one of those self-discoveries was that I was gay. And I won't go into much details about how I found out, but I made the discovery that I was. And I wasn't too emotional about it. I was just like, okay, I am what I am. And when I came out to my family, they were okay about it. They didn't really care. They, my mom was, and she still kind of is in denial about it. And you know what? I just let that slide. My dad is completely supportive of it, and he still loves me, and as many of you may think, your parents might not love you. They'll love you still. They always have. They never stopped. But so back to high school though. I was never really teased in high school, because between junior high and high school I had moved to a more liberal place. When I went to Catholic school, I was living in Boston, and that was where things were really bad. But Illinois is very liberal. They're very accepting. So my high school, a lot of people were very mature about things, and there were already a lot of openly gay students. Some of them, yes, were having rumors spread about them. Me being one of them, people had spread rumors about me. People said that I had AIDS or whatnot, and but nobody really took it seriously. Most of it was just a joke. Some people really did hate it, but people accepted me, and I was pretty okay about that. After high school, I really realized, and this is the point of my vlog to you, is that it gets better. It really, truly, and honestly does get better. Because after high school, you go to college, you're an adult, and it's 2010. People have grown up, and if they haven't, then they need to. But people have grown up, they're more mature, they're more accepting. Especially in college, because you just get this big melting pot of all kinds of ethnic groups, people of different belief systems, all different kinds of walks of life. There's no better place. I mean, as far as I know, college is, I love it here because, everyone's so accepting and, everyone's a little bit more mature. And, when you're an adult, people won't think it's a phase. People will accept you for who you are because you're an adult and you know what you're talking about. And that's really my advice is, be comfortable with who you are. Just don't let anyone else define you. Because that's like the worst thing you can let anybody do is let someone else define you. Don't let your parents tell you who you are. Don't let your peers. Don't let anybody. I mean, they don't know you. And if they want you to be someone else, then, fuck them. But anyway, to drive this point home, it gets better. It really, really does. And you can't give up. You can't lose hope. You have to stay strong and hang in there. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, okay? I hope this really helps you. You can take my advice or you can leave it, but it's helped me. I've taught myself these things, and I'm still alive and strong to this day. So, I hope every one of you, finds love and peace. Hang in there. I love you all. Bye.